Hey guys, so this is Kim at Sassy Stitchery and YonderWays, and I'm here today with my nephew Tucker Worley. Hey Tucker.
Hey.
And so we are at his mom's office. She has a tax business, and she's letting us use her office tonight for this video. And Sonia sells some things here in her tax office that I'm going to be selling in the shop. And it has to do with the other thing that I'm super excited about that Tucker has made for us that we'll also be selling in the shop. So, Tucker, tell us what you've been doing with your spare time.
I've been keeping bees here lately.
Yeah. So you started like a year and a half ago with like one or two hives?
Yeah, just one hive.
And then what did you end with last year?
35.
Yeah, there you go. So when he says he's been keeping bees, he's definitely been keeping bees. So when Tucker told me that he was going to be keeping bees, immediately you can probably figure out, well, first I was excited about the honey, but then I was very excited about the possibility of the waxers. And so I gave him a little time to kind of get things going. And then I said, so, hey, Tucker, what you doing with all that wax? And so he jumped on it, and he's been really great about it. And so he's made us some really beautiful, beautiful waxers. And so what you can see there are the wax itself over to the right-hand side. I don't know which side it is, but it's the big blocks. And then you'll see the two sets of waxers that he's made for us. So we're really excited. They're really beautiful and substantial. They're what, Tucker, about 2 ounces or so of wax?
2 ounces.
Yeah, and a really beautiful imprint on them. I'll show you. Really beautiful bee. And so there's a darker version and a lighter version. And it's just kind of how they come out in the wax, right? Just one batch is darker and one batch is lighter.
2 different types of wax.
Yeah. And so they're both really great quality. And you said you had a friend that was using them for something else besides what I want to use them for, which of course is to condition threads as we stitch. But what was your friend using them for?
He's actually using it for a similar purpose. He's using it for the threads on his leather work.
Okay, that's great. So you folks out there that do leather work, or have friends or partners that do leather work, that's another great option. But it's a really beautiful clear wax. I love it. I'm excited about it. And your company's name is what?
Worley Honey Farm.
Yeah. So, and how have the honey sales been going?
It's going pretty good. I've sold, I started with 8 5-gallon bucketfuls, and I'm down to 2.
Yeah. So he pretty much sold out, because I asked him before we started this video, how much honey do you have? And he was like, oh, not really enough. So you guys won't be able to buy honey from us right now, but by the time you come to the shop when we open around Easter this year, we'll have some honey out for you, I bet. And if not, we'll have it later in the summer. But we are super excited to bring you these waxers. So I'm going to let Tucker tell us a little bit about keeping bees and things like that, because I think it's always great to meet the craftsmen behind these things that we have and understand what they go through to produce it. And then we'll talk to you a little bit more about the waxers and how they're going to be available to you. So tell us a little bit about beekeeping. I mean, like, I guess when you do a lot of things now, like, because you even are able to like split the hives, and you buy queens. And I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff that you're doing with it. So what was kind of the first really cool thing that you did this past year that you were excited you were able to do with the hives?
Probably the first thing that I did was catch swarms from other people's colonies or wild bees.
Yeah.
That's probably the first thing.
Yeah, and we are kind of rural here. So we, Tucker grew up here, I did too, but he grew up a little bit more rural. And I remember I was here, I don't know when it was, maybe in the early summer, and somebody called and there was a swarm, and we were pretty excited. And you just went over there, and your mom was kind of like, you need to put a suit on, and you didn't have anything on, did you? You just went out there and the bees
swarms are fairly docile because they're full of honey. Before they swarm, they fill their honey stomachs full, so they get pretty calm.
You're fat and lazy, is that what you're saying? Yeah, I understand. I totally understand that. Now, how many swarms did you get this past year? Just random swarms?
5 or 6.
That's pretty cool. And that was fun, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do when you do that? You just show up and...
I show up with a box. Typically, I keep a 5-frame nuke in my truck.
What's a nuke?
A nuke's just a 5-frame small nucleus colony.
Okay.
So I keep a 5-frame box in my truck, and with 5 frames of wax foundation, and then I take them out there and I just shake the bees off in them.
You just shake them and they
and bring
just
them
go
back
in there.
home.
And then I think I saw a picture of you holding a queen in your hand one time. You just reached in and grabbed her.
Well, it was actually a swarm from some of my bees. I didn't have that 5-frame box with me that day because the day before I had just caught a swarm. And
popularity's a burden, isn't it?
Yeah. And so they were flying off, and I did what they call tang, which is where you beat it on a piece of metal, and the bees immediately hit the ground out of the swarm.
They are scared of the noise or something? Or the vibration?
There's theories that they think that it's thunder.
Oh.
They land.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But so I dug around through the bees barehanded and grabbed the queen and held on to her until my mom could bring a box.
That's wild. So you just sat there whispering to your queen bee.
Pretty much. They engulfed my whole hand.
And you didn't get stung?
No.
And so do you often get stung?
Yeah.
Does it hurt?
Just get used to it.
Okay. All right. Just makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm allergic to bees. Isn't that fun? So, yeah, I'd love to keep bees, but my husband, your uncle, actually told me that was really hard and that he wasn't good at it, so we weren't going to be able to keep bees. So fortunately, you're great at it, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. But so this year you said you were going to do something fun too. So the other thing that's really cool with bees is when you're good at it, like Tucker is, you can actually take those bees and pollinate somebody's crop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're starting to do some of that this coming year too.
Yeah, this year I have my first pollination contract. I'm going to be pollinating about 18 acres of cucumbers in the Bethel community.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So tell us a little bit about you. I kind of skipped that part, but so you're local. You grew up here, and then you went to college at NC State.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell us what you did.
I majored in horticulture science. That's pretty much been my passion all my life, is growing plants. Yeah, that's awesome. And he's really, really good at it. He can make anything grow. I mean, I was over there at Christmas, and you actually were the first person that I knew of that told me the difference between the different kind of what we just call Christmas cactuses. Yeah. So there's like Thanksgiving cactuses and Easter cactuses, and they all look similar, but you knew the difference in them. That was pretty neat because I didn't know that. And that's why they bloom at different times. And so, and then you also work on the farm some and help keep the farm up. Yeah. And what's your day job? My day job, I do horticultural research for the Department of Agriculture, which is very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. So I'm sure you love that. And you're local; you get to stay here a lot, right? Yeah, which is great. That's excellent. So the reason that we're here, other than getting to meet Tucker and talking about honey and bees and stuff, and letting you know where that comes from, is to talk about these really cool waxers that Tucker made for us that we're going to sell in the shop. But, there's a process to that. So how much wax are you able to take, and how do you get it from the bees? And so most of the wax that I have got is from cappings, which is a byproduct of the honey extraction process. Whenever you're extracting honey, you take the frames out and you cut the cappings on. It keeps the honey from spoiling. That keeps the moisture out of the honey and anything else as well. And that, I drain all the honey out of that because there's still honey that gets down in my cappings tank. And then I melt that down, and that's what becomes these waxers. Okay, and you have to keep some wax, I know you told me, because you can't take all their wax. They have to keep part of their wax, so, right? That's the beauty of extracting honey. You get to keep the actual drone combs, and all that you're taking off is the top layer. The drone comb is gold in the beekeeping business. Okay. And so the bees just reuse that? Yeah. Okay. So they would take honey out, or cut the comb out of the frames and put a piece in the jar, and then squeeze all the rest out and strain it through cheesecloth. But now we have radial extractors that can keep the comb intact. What's a radial extractor? It looks like a wheel inside of a big barrel. And it spins and it slings the honey out. Okay, I saw that one time. I saw you guys doing that. That was fun. We'll put some pictures. And I will add some pictures to this too that kind of show some of this stuff. It's neat. But it's a production when you're harvesting the honey and stuff. It takes a few people to do it. And I asked you earlier about what times of the year and stuff. It's not like it gets all spread out. They all are ready at one time pretty much, right? Yeah. So typically here we'll have 2 harvests a year.
Yeah.
We'll have our wildflower flow, and then we're lucky enough here to have 2 flows, and that the second one is sourwood typically.
And sourwood honey is really good too. So this year you might even have some sourwood honey.
Yeah, maybe so. This past season we had a drought during the sourwood bloom, and we really didn't have any. So that was kind of a bummer. We made a little bit of honey, but it wasn't sourwood.
Yeah, no, the honey was great, and I know I gave some to a friend of mine, and they loved it. So, and we love it too. So, one of the things that we were talking about earlier was the queens and how the queens, like make bees from an accountant, from the mouth of an accountant to the ears of a beekeeper. Yeah. So, talk to us a little bit about that.
So, a queen bee and a worker bee are genetically identical, but what differentiates them is the first 3 days after they hatch from an egg. So a queen, it takes 16 days for her to hatch from egg to fully mature, ready to be mated queen. A worker's something like 21 days, I'm pretty sure. So I've been making my own queens because I got tired of paying $30 every time I wanted to make a split.
That's wild. It was that expensive. So how do you make your own queens?
So I take larva that's 1 day old, which is a 3-day-old egg, and I take a little grafting tool and take it out of the comb and put it into a queen cup. And then I put it into a cell builder hive that is queenless and very full of bees. So they want to swarm and they're queenless. And that produces very high quality queen cells.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. That's smart. And you did that in your first year.
Yeah.
So, and you've even been selling some queens now too, haven't you?
Yeah. I sold about 6 or 7 surplus queens.
It's pretty amazing how naturally talented you are with this. I mean, it's been just amazingly fast how quickly, you just got really good at it really fast. And I think that's a natural talent. So,
well, most of it was from YouTube videos from some very talented people too.
Okay, all right. We'll give credit where credit's due, but those people didn't make us our waxers that we ask about. So we're gonna sing your praises. We're super excited about that. So we do have these beautiful waxers, and we're going to be putting those on the website. When you see this, they'll be on the website for sale, and they ship in a little bag, something like that. Might be a little bit different, and we hope you love it. I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful wax from the mountains of North Carolina, from the Worley farm here. Tell me again, Worley Honeybee Farm?
Worley Honey Farm.
Worley Honey Farm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we're super excited about it. And Tucker, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about it and let folks really understand, where it comes from and, what's involved in it. And, it's just fun to meet you too. It's always good to know the maker behind the craft and the art. So thanks for doing it, and thanks for making our waxers for us. I'm sure this is just the beginning. I'm hoping it's the beginning. You might be tired of it already, but I'm super excited about it. So when you guys finally get to come see Sassy Jacks this spring and summer and the rest of the year, we'll have waxers, and we might even have some honey. So Tucker, best of luck this year with the hives, and hopefully you'll have as many as you want to have to manage. I'll put it that way. And lots of wax and lots of honey, and great success with that, because I know sometimes it can be a down year, but you had a great year. So we're really proud of you and really excited about it. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for it. All right, guys, look for the waxers online. Bye.